Okay, I just hit record now, so we can get started.
All right. Okay.
So, how's it going? How are you?
I'm good. How are you, by the way?
I'm doing good, man. So, today we're gonna be doing just a little short Ether channel lab,
Okay, no
just
problem.
just just for fun, just to mess around with it. So,
Mhm.
go ahead and maximize your packet tracer for me.
All right.
And for this Ether channel lab, we're gonna be using four switches. So, go over to your
Okay.
switches,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna grab two of the 37 or 3650 models. Those are the layer 3 switches.
Yep. So four of them you said, right?
So we're going to grab two of those and
Okay,
put them
two of
side by
those. All
side.
right. So like this.
And then we'll grab two of the 2960s
All right. And where do you want me to place the 2960s?
right below them.
Okay. All right. And by the way, I have a question if you don't mind me asking.
What's that?
So what is Ether channel?
So Ether channel is essentially, imagine you have a computer connected to another computer using a cord or an Ether.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
now imagine that cord breaks. Then you lose
Mm-hmm.
connection all of a sudden. But now imagine you have two cords. So now, normally when you plug two cords in, it's only going to be using one cord and it actually shuts the other cord down because it doesn't need it. But when you configure Ether channel, you make the computer think that it's just one cord. So virtually, you can turn two cords into one cord so that if one cord breaks, then you still have another cord to go off of. It can also increase the speed of the connection. So it just adds a layer of redundancy and load balancing maybe and a bit of speed. So it's
Okay.
pretty
So
cool.
it's like a backup basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So for the sake of this lab, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
pretend that the 3650s is Cisco and we're going to pretend that the 2960s are just Juniper switches.
Okay.
So we're not going to be running any Cisco commands on the Juniper, just switching commands that are multi-vendor.
Okay.
But anyways, so let's go down to the connections, the cabling.
Mm-hmm.
So the little lightning
All
bolt,
right.
yeah. And then we're
Yep.
going to be using a crossover cable,
Okay.
which is a little dotted one.
Right.
So now we'll plug in the two top switches.
So these two together right here, the multi-layer ones, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So now,
And then, mm-hmm.
yeah, put the first one in the first Ethernet port.
So 101.
That's right.
Okay.
And then put it over to the other side on the same port.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then we're going to run three more cables between those two switches, just going
Okay.
up the port one at a time.
So it'll be
So
a
one more.
total of four then.
That's right.
Okay. And you want all of them like number two for the port, three and four, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, that'll keep it simple.
Okay. Okay. Let me fix it a bit.
Sweet. So far, so good. So
Mm-hmm.
next we're gonna connect the layer 3 switches to the layer 2 switches. But we're just gonna
Okay.
run two cables between them.
Okay. So that will be same cable, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, the crossover cable.
Okay. And then so so for which one do I connect the one below it first or
Yeah, we'll do that one first, and then we'll do the other
okay.
one after.
Okay. And which port do you want me to put in this one?
Let's put in one.
For the gigabit, right?
Um, we'll just use the fast Ethernet ones, and we'll go into why
Okay.
later.
Okay, no problem. So, all right. And then the same Juniper switch or the other one?
We'll put it to the other one.
Okay. And which port would you want me to put in for this one?
That's a good question. Let's leave it at one though.
Okay. Right?
And then for the other multi-layer switch, or actually,
Mm-hmm.
hold on. Let's put two
Okay.
between the same Juniper switches, just to
Okay.
just to go with the Ether channel flow.
Okay, no problem. So double for each, right?
Yeah. And
Okay.
normally in production, I don't know if you would have to do that if we're gonna go with the spine and leaf architecture, which we'll talk about later
Mhm.
on in this video. But
Okay.
just for the sake of this exercise, we'll do that, yeah.
Okay, no problem.
And then
So something like this so far, right?
yeah,
Just to
exactly,
make sure.
exactly. And then
Okay.
same thing for the other layer 3 switch. And then we're just not gonna connect the other two. So the two junipers
All
don't
right.
need to connect.
Okay, so you want me to connect this one to the one below it, right?
That's right.
Okay. Just that one only, right?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it that way.
Okay. Okay.
Why not?
All right. I just want to make sure I'm on the right page here. That's why. So that's for here. So something like this.
Yeah, that's right. So
Okay.
let's go into the top left switch.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then for this one, you need to go to the physical tab and you have to drag that power
Mm-hmm.
supply up there into the, yeah, right there.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay. All right. And then now,
Now you
okay,
go to
so
the
it's gonna
CLI.
start up.
So normally we would go through a whole configuration with the host name and password encryption, all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff, but we're not going to worry about
Mm-hmm.
this. This is just the Etherchannel Lab. So we're not
Okay.
going to worry too
No
much
problem.
about that.
Yep.
Just a
And I assume you don't
CCNA
want the
practice.
initial configuration. Right. Right.
We'll just type in no.
Yep. Okay.
And then we're going to go into press enter and hit configure terminal. Or enter, yeah, after
Okay.
have to enable first. So enable and then
Okay.
configure terminal, of course.
Okay. So configure terminal. Okay.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can set the go in configure the interfaces. So type
Okay.
in int for interface,
Mm-hmm.
then space range. And then the range is going to be, it's the gig. I think it
Right.
was it 101? Like 1/01? Or was it?
1/01, if I'm not mistaken, and then
And then dash.
it went up to 4, up to the between the multi-layer switches, and then
Yeah.
there's also 5, 6, 7, 8. So that'll be 8 total then.
Okay, so we're just going to select the first four. So 1 to
The
4.
first 4?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
So the first command we're going to do is called switch port
Mm-hmm.
space trunk space encapsulation
Okay,
space
so switch port. What did you say after switch port, by the way, just to make sure?
trunk.
So trunk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what this does after. So
Okay, no problem.
space encapsulation.
So after trunk encapsulation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, type in .1q.
Okay. So just like this.
Yeah. So the reason why we're typing this in is because when you take a switch out of the box, by default,
Mm-hmm.
each and every port is configured as a dynamic port. So now there's three
Okay.
types of configurations for ports. The first one is the dynamic, the other one is trunk, which we just did, and the other
Mm-hmm.
mode is access. So why would you use different ones of these is depending on the scenario. So now if I were to connect computers on those ports, then I would put in
Mm-hmm.
an access port because that means the switch is communicating with an endpoint device. But
Okay.
a trunk port means that the switch is communicating with not an endpoint device. It's communicating with something that it needs to pass on switching information to. Like layer two information, MAC addresses.
Mm-hmm.
The ARPs and all that stuff. So that needs to go through the trunk. So in order to do that effectively, we have to set it as the trunk port. And dynamically, it can be a trunk, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not. It's just not doing the job properly. It's kind of like you got your winter tires and you got your summer
Mm-hmm.
tires, and then the
Mm-hmm.
dynamic is like your all season tires, but they're not really good for either of them. They're just kind of okay at
Right.
both. So we're just gonna deal with the trunking port, and then
Okay.
encapsulation .1q. That means we're working with VLANs and stuff. So that's just like the little
Mm-hmm.
code for VLANs. So anyways,
Okay.
the next.
I was gonna ask something if you don't mind too.
Oh, of course, of course.
So basically, when you said about like the summer tires and the winter tires, and dynamic tires are basically like all season tires. So basically, what you're saying is that it's risky, like no matter what season it is, like dealing with those tires, pretty much. In
Yeah,
the case of dynamic trunking.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so now this brings us to, you can type in switch port
Mm-hmm.
mode trunk
Okay.
and then hit enter.
All right.
So that's the one that's gonna finalize that command. So the next one
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna type in is called switch port no negotiate, and that's one
Okay.
word. And that essentially is used to stop the dynamic port from sending the dynamic messages that we don't really want.
Okay.
So it just makes it so it doesn't interfere with the traffic. So we're gonna make sure
Mhm.
it sends the traffic that we want it to send.
Right.
So
Okay.
next one we're gonna do is channel dash group. That's the command.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And before you hit enter, we can type in any number between 1 to 48. And this
Okay.
number could be your choice. And it doesn't change the function of what number it is. It's just like a little, almost like a tag or a name.
Okay. To identify it, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I'll just do one for now. Yep.
Oh, let's do one. Yeah. And then you
Okay.
can type in mode.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of modes. So let's type in a question mark and hit
All
enter.
right. No. Okay. So I see a lot of modes, by the way.
Of course. So
Yep.
the big two things that you're going to see is there's two modes for each protocol. So one
Mm-hmm.
protocol is the LACP, and then
Mm-hmm.
the modes for that is active and passive. Then there's a
Okay.
PAGP, that one has auto and desirable. But now they both kind of do the same thing, except the PAGP, that's Cisco proprietary. What that means is that's only going to work if it detects another Cisco switch. So we can turn that on if we're connected to a Juniper switch, and it's not going to work because it's going to send a broadcast to the Juniper switch and say, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
do you have PAGP?" And Juniper will say, "No, I don't." So it's not going to form a connection. So, more often
Okay.
than not, the LACP is multi-vendor, so that works across all platforms. So that's a lot more popular. I'm sure you've heard about routing protocols because you're studying for the
Mm-hmm.
CCNA. So you got your EIGRP, that's Cisco
Right.
proprietary. Then you have your
Right.
OSPF. And because OSPF is multi-vendor, almost every
Hmm.
company uses it because there's no issues with like cross compatibility. So
Okay.
same with this, most companies are going to be using LACP because
Hmm.
maybe they have a Juniper switch one day. I don't know, but it
Right.
keeps the options open, I guess. So
Okay. So
anyways,
that'll be the connection, right, between the bottom Juniper switches to the layer 3 switches, correct? For LACP.
that's right. You're correct.
Okay.
So for
Okay.
the sake of this exercise, we're gonna mix the two together. You wouldn't do
Hmm.
this normally, but we're gonna do it just
Right.
cause it's fun. so
Okay. No problem.
so for this port group, this one's the one
Hmm.
that's connected to the Cisco switch. So we're gonna go
Right.
ahead and put the mode to uh, the PAGP, which is gonna be desirable.
All right.
So now,
Because they're Cisco proprietary, like you mentioned earlier, if I'm not mistaken, right?
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And now the reason why we're putting desirable instead of
Hmm.
auto is because now
Hmm.
desirable, it's gonna be taking the initiative to form that ether channel connection, whereas auto,
Okay.
you can put the passive side to auto and one side to
Hmm.
desirable, or you could put both sides to desirable. But if both sides are auto, then it's gonna be too passive. Imagine
Right.
imagine I'm socially passive and you're socially
Hmm.
passive, and we both walk in a room, and then we just
Oh
don't
yeah.
talk to each other. Because
Yeah. No conversation
no
happens. Yeah.
conversation will start. So one of
Hmm.
us one of us has to be active, or maybe both of us
Right.
can be active. But if both
Right.
are passive, that just doesn't work. So one could be passive. But
All
anyways,
right.
just depends
Yeah,
on
that's
how
a
you want
great
to.
way you explained it. So,
Thanks, man.
yeah, no problem. Yeah. Pardon me.
So
Sorry about.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, you can
Yeah. Yeah.
interrupt anytime, bro. Um,
I didn't mean to, but yeah, sorry about that.
no, it's all good, bro. This is all
Yeah.
just a friendly conversation. But
Right.
so yeah, it's up to you how you want to decide your network, and I'm
Okay.
sure there's reasons for it, but off the top of my head, I can't think of a
All right.
certain scenario. But anyways, so let's put
Okay.
in desirable and hit enter.
No problem.
Sweet, and
Hmm.
then hit enter. I think that worked.
Yes, it said creating a port channel.
Okay, and then let's go exit. Let's go back to like just the normal mode where we can do show commands.
All right.
And then let's type in,
So in this mode.
yeah, that's right. Now
Okay.
type in
All right.
show ether channel summary.
All right. Hmm.
Yeah, looks good. Okay, so yeah, make that screen a bit bigger, like sideways,
Okay.
just so I can see it better. Sweet. Okay, so right away it shows us the number of channel groups that we're using, and it shows one
Hmm.
because we've only set up one, so that's great. Then it shows
Hmm.
the group that we set up. You put in the number one for the ID, so it shows that.
Right.
Shows
Yep.
us that we're using that PAGP protocol, and shows us the
Hmm.
ports we're using. So it looks good
Hmm.
so far. So we're just gonna go
Yep.
ahead and close out of this command line and go over to the other
Okay.
Cisco switch.
All right. So that. Did you want me to save any configurations or?
No, it's okay. We'll keep the switch
Okay.
on. So
Okay. No problem. Oh yeah, I forgot.
and then we
Right.
yeah gotta put the
Need
power
to
supply
power it
in.
up. Yep. Right. All right. So I have been seeing these messages right now saying that
Yes.
there is, yeah,
Yeah.
some
So
issues.
it's yelling at you.
Yeah.
So why is it yelling at you? So let me tell you. As we said earlier, when you take the
Hmm.
switch out of a box, it's in a
Hmm.
dynamic port mode, right? It's
Okay.
not in a trunking mode, so it's getting a lot of VLAN messages that the last switch we configure the encapsulation .1q, which is like the
Mm-hmm.
VLAN, sending of the VLAN traffic. And then this switch is not configured, so it doesn't know what's going on. It doesn't know what's coming in. So we gotta go ahead and teach it what it's hearing. So
Okay, so both of them are not in agreement, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
that's right. So they're not agreeing.
Okay.
And then right
So that.
now, when you connect switches together, they go through what's called the spanning tree protocol. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what's making it go into that blocking port because it's
Okay.
because if it wouldn't go into the blocking port, if it just accepted it, it would turn into like a huge broadcast storm, and it would
Mm-hmm.
just bring the whole network down. So it's kind of like a little organization and defense, and it's a good thing to have. We'll get into that maybe in the next video with Gregory when he comes.
Okay.
We'll do a
No
STP lab
problem.
with him. So
All right. So,
next episode.
yes.
For this one,
All
we'll
right.
stick to Etherchannel. That's a big
Okay. So
topic,
basically,
STP.
though, it prevents the broadcast of the network going down, in other words, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
in short.
All right.
So let's configure terminal. You're good,
Yep.
and we'll go to interface range and select the same range of interfaces. It's
Mm-hmm.
great. We use the same numbers. So that's the gig 1 to 4. Great. So now we're gonna type in switch port, trunk, encapsulation.
So it was the same commands as last time, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's right. You're right. Absolutely.
Okay. So it'll be .1q
That's
in this
right.
case. Okay. And then I have to basically set it to make sure it's trunking now, right?
Yep. So switch port mode trunk. And then bam, so they're all turning up, so they're coming to an agreement
Mm-hmm.
now. And the other one,
Mm-hmm.
switch port node negotiate to make sure it's not soliciting any unwanted messages to the other switch.
Right.
Cool. And then now we're gonna create the channel group. And now the channel
Okay.
group also has to sync up on those ports. You can have a different
Okay.
channel group when you're connected to a different switch, but since you're on
Mm-hmm.
this connected to the same switch, it has to be the same channel group. So we'll go ahead and
Okay.
go channel group 1.
Mm-hmm. So if they were different, that means it wouldn't work, right?
That's right. So it's got to be the same one. You can have a different channel group for a different switch, but for the same switch,
Okay.
it's got to be.
Okay.
Or
And
or actually you can have different channel groups on connecting to the same switch as long as
mm-hmm.
like let's say you can have these 4 on the same channel group and then you can make
Mm-hmm.
another 4 on a different channel group,
Okay.
but both ends still have to match, both ends of the
Right.
connection. So
Okay. And
but yeah,
then
so
for
then
the
the
mode.
mode was we can put desirable, and either auto or desirable, they both work. The
Mm-hmm.
only ones that don't work is gonna be the LACP ones because they don't work.
Right.
They don't work. They don't like each other.
Yeah. Since we're using PAGP, if I'm not mistaken, right now, right?
That's right. So let's just go to
Okay.
desirable.
All right. No problem. So we're gonna make both of them take initiative, basically.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Yep. So now it's up.
Bam! They all go down. So
Yeah.
it'll just going through that STP that we were talking about. And again, we'll.
Mm-hmm.
So right now it's yeah, they're sending broadcasts to each other. They're trying to elect the root bridge, and the root bridge is pretty
Mm-hmm.
much like the alpha bridge of the team. It's whichever one
Okay.
has
All
the
right.
the highest bridge ID, but by
Mm-hmm.
default, every switch has the same bridge ID. So the next thing it's gonna check is the MAC address. So whichever one has
Okay.
I think it's the highest MAC address. So whichever one has the highest, is it the highest?
I
No.
believe from what I've been
Yeah,
studying, it's the lowest
it's
for
the
the bridge
lowest.
ID and for the MAC address too.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking backwards. So
Yeah.
thanks for saving me.
Yeah,
But yeah,
no problem. I remember because with spanning tree, I remember learning it was the lowest is always the winner. And then with OSPF, I remember learning it, the higher priority is the winner. So it's like the opposite.
that's what I was thinking of because last episode we just did a OSPF lab.
Hmm.
That's my excuse.
Yeah, all
So
right, no problem.
so anyways, they're all green, so that looks good. Looks good, man. So
Yep.
it's, that means it's
Hmm.
working. That's
Right.
good. And then
Okay.
now we can start working with the Juniper switch. So
Hmm.
let's just stay on this switch while we're here, and then we'll
Okay.
go exit one level.
Hmm. And you want me to exit again?
No, we'll stay there. And then
Okay.
we're gonna go interface range,
Hmm.
and I believe we used ports gigabyte 5 and 6
To connect to this switch, right?
to the Juniper, yeah, the one below it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And yep.
Sweet. And then we'll do the same thing, so switch port trunk encapsulation dot one q,
All right.
and then change switch port mode trunk after that command,
All
and
right.
then we'll do the no negotiate.
So if I write it like short form, would it work like this too, by the way? Just wanted to know.
It might.
Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, it did.
Cool. So
Yep.
now we're gonna create another channel group, and this channel group
Hmm.
can't be the same as the other one.
Okay,
Otherwise, the switch is gonna start confusing the ports.
right. Okay. So I'll say 2 for this one then.
Yeah, that works.
All
And
right.
then for the mode, let's hit the question mark again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna pick active. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the right one. So
Okay. So for this one, if I'm not mistaken, we're doing LACP, right?
that's right. So now we're gonna connect
Oh,
to a switch that we're pretending it's Juniper, when in reality it's actually
right.
just a 2960 catalyst.
Right. Okay.
Okay, sweet. So we can get out of there for now,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna select the Juniper switch right below it.
Okay. Yep, the same messages.
Yeah.
And now I understand why.
So if I remember correctly, we used ports 3 and 4 on this one, and they were fast Ethernet. So
Uh, yes. Yep.
so we're gonna go into configure terminal,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and then we'll do
Mm.
interface range FA 3 to 4.
Okay.
I think that's right, is
So
it? Yeah, it's gotta be.
yeah. Yes. Okay.
And here, type in switch port trunk encapsulation dot one q,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it might not work on a layer 2 switch, but we'll see.
Switch port encapsulation dot 1Q. Oh, trunk. Let me do that first. Forgot that. All right. And let's see. Yeah, it says invalid.
Yeah, so on a layer 2 switch, it's already doing that. So you don't need
Okay.
to do it on that one. It's it's
Okay.
actually an added feature in the layer 3 switches
Mhm.
where you can turn that off or on, or
Okay.
do some other customizations to it. So yeah.
Hmm.
So in the older switches, that's just what it is no matter what. So
Okay. All right.
so we could just set it
Yeah, I was
to
always
trunk
wondered.
mode.
I always wondered about that.
Yeah. So yes, you know the command.
Yep. So switch port more trunk.
And then we're gonna do the channel group 2, and the
Mm-hmm.
mode's gonna be active.
Okay. So similar concept to before, both of them taking initiative, but just different protocol.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
And they both went down, so they're going through that STP process right now. No
Mm-hmm.
problem. They'll come back up. So let's get out of here
Mm-hmm.
for now, and let's go
Okay.
back up to the layer 3 switch in the top left.
Okay.
All right. So let's configure that terminal.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's do interface range, gigabyte 3 to 6, I believe. Like 3, 4, 5,
It
6.
was.
Yeah, 3 to 6.
I think it was it. Let's see. Because if I'm not mistaken, I remember these 4 connections was 1 to 4.
Oh, right.
So
So
then,
it's gonna be 5 to 9.
yes.
5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
so 5 to 9.
Okay. No problem. So you want me to do all from 5 to 9 right now, right?
That's right.
Okay. All right.
Then we're just gonna
And
do
then I
those
have the trunk.
same commands again. It's the switch port trunk
Okay.
encapsulation.
Yep. So try it like this. Okay. And
Then the switch mode trunk.
right. Okay. And then now we have to configure the channel, right?
That's right. Wait, hold on. So
Okay.
before we configure the channel, we have
Mm-hmm.
2 ether channels selected right now. So we don't want to configure the
Oh.
channel all at once. So we'll take a step back.
Okay. So exit then.
That's right.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna select the first 2 interfaces. So interface 5 to 6.
Okay. So 5 to 6. All right. Okay. And
You look good, babe. It's just a casual chat. Don't worry. She's like sneaking around the background. Okay, sweet. So now we can make a new channel group.
Mhm.
And then let's do 3. We haven't done 3 yet.
All right. Sure.
And then we can do active for that LACP.
All right. So it's going through the process right now too on one end, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then so now we can configure the port channel for the other switch on the bottom right. So we'll do
Okay.
interface range, and that was 8 to 9. Wait, hold on. Did we mess
I
up the
think I think
Uh-oh.
so. I got confused too.
Okay,
I
hold
think we
on.
did number 9. Let's check
Which one
something out.
which one did we just do?
We did 5 to 6. That's fine
Okay,
because
okay,
I
okay.
remember 1 to 4. 1 to 4 is between both layer 3 switches, and
Right.
then
I think I
5
said
to
3
6.
to 4, but you fixed me. So that's good.
Yeah, yeah. I think we did 9, but 9 was an extra,
Oh, okay.
if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it was, and we still put as a trunk, but we
Oh,
could
okay.
probably change it if I'm not mistaken, right?
Let's do 7 to 8
If
then,
it,
yeah.
yeah, okay. All right, so 7 to 8. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Sweet. And then we'll go to the bottom left switch.
So bottom left, right here.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So
And
it's saying
then,
on fast internet 1 and 2 has the issue. So those are the ones then. Okay. So you want me to configure those ends if I'm not mistaken?
yeah, so I think that's fast Ethernet 1 and 2. This one's easy.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so interface range, be fast internet 0, 1, and 2. Okay. And then this one just have to mention the mode as trunking only. Right. And then from there, is there anything else I'm missing with layer 2? I don't have to do no negotiation, right?
um, we can do that just in case, but the
Okay.
encapsulation thing you don't have to do now.
Okay. All right. And then I have to configure the port channel, right?
That's right. So now we do channel group, and it was
And this
3. And
3.
for this one, let's do the passive one. Let's see what
Okay.
happens.
All right. No problem. Okay. So, yeah, it still goes through the process.
Sweet.
Hmm.
And then
And I could exit, right?
yeah, while it loads, let's configure the one on the bottom right now.
Okay. So, this one right here, right?
That's right.
Okay. All right. So, that is number 1 and number 2. Okay.
And then it's gonna be, what were the ports for
And,
that? That was 3 and 4, right?
or that was 3 and 4, right? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Wait. Let's see. Let me make sure. Like, how can I make sure, by the way, if like we
Um,
didn't know the.
press X on the box,
Mhm.
and let's
Yep.
go to options in the top left-hand corner.
So the top left-hand corner.
Yep, under options.
So under. So wait, I'm on the global configuration mode, right? I have to exit that too.
No, 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 like in the top left corner of Packet Tracer itself.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
So it says options up
So
there.
option.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
Hmm.
go to preferences.
All right.
And then there's a little checkbox that we're gonna check.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the always show port labels in logical workspace. It's on the left side in the middle.
Yep.
Okay, and then press X, and there's gonna be a lot of them. So
Yeah.
press X, and
Okay.
then yeah. So it's if you move that around, looks like I could see a 2 right there sticking out. So
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be 1 and 2.
There we go.
All right.
Can you guys hear me?
Hey
Yep.
Gregory, good to have you on board, man. Oh,
Nice
he
to
just
meet you,
dropped.
Gregory.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
can you guys hear me?
we can see you and
Yeah.
hear you. Looking good, bro.
All right, cool. There we go.
So then that means this is 1 and 2 then.
Yeah, that's right. So
It says issues there too, by the way, from
okay.
what I'm seeing. Yeah. All right.
All right, so what are we doing exactly? We're looking at the stream.
Yeah, that's right. So
All right, cool.
All
All
right.
right, what level is this? Like CCNA level?
yep, just a CCNA lab.
Excuse me. All right, nice. What is it that we're doing? It looks like we got Etherchannel,
Mm-hmm.
rocking and rolling between some layer 3 switches and some layer 2 switches.
Yeah, and I think we messed up on this bottom right hand switch because we thought that the top 2 ports were ports 1 and 2, right? So we must have
Yeah.
configured the ether channel or the channel group with the same one as the top switch, right? I think. Did we?
Mm-hmm. I
Or
think
did
Um,
we do it
so.
right?
I, it seemed like for some of them there's that connection. So,
Maybe
but I
we did
think
do
for
3 and 4.
Let me ask you
yeah,
this: did you guys send the packet tracer link, or I'm sorry, yeah, the file? That's what I meant to say. So we could pull it up on our own end.
Oh, oh yeah, you're late to the party, bro. We just did this all from
Yeah.
scratch.
Oh, okay. So
We're
I
almost done though.
gotcha.
We're almost done though. We're just gonna configure those last 2 ports, and then if you want to, Greg, we can do a episode 3 with you
All right.
right after we finish this. So let's wrap this up. We got like one more command to do, bro.
All right. Cool.
all right. Should I check the configuration to make sure which ones have been configured? To make sure.
Yeah, let's do that. So go
Okay.
back to just the global mode,
Mm-hmm.
and then back one more,
All right.
and then type in show Etherchannel summary.
All right. Okay. So it's saying 3 and 4
Okay,
is number 2. And that's
we did it right then. Okay.
yeah. Yep.
Sweet. So yeah,
Mhm.
let's go back into configure terminal and then select the port range from
1
1 to
and 2.
2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And that one was number 3, if we're not mistaken, or number 4. Wait, number 3, right?
Number 1 and 2.
It looks like 1
Yeah.
and
No, I'm
2
talking about for
because
the port channel number.
Oh,
uh
right. Yeah, it
it
was
should be.
the channel group was 3 for
Okay.
the one on the top left, and the channel group
Okay.
was 2 for the one on the top right, which is the one that we see in the summary.
Right. Okay. And then which one do we do for like the top left, the layer 3 switch to the Juniper switch in the bottom left?
Um, First we gotta set the switch port mode to trunk,
Hmm.
and then turn on no negotiate. So let's type in switch port mode trunk.
Okay. So for this, yeah, this switch here, right. Okay. And then switch port, no negotiate. All right.
Sweet. And then we'll do channel group, and it was 3,
Mm-hmm.
and then the mode is gonna be active.
All right. All right. So it's
So
up.
that's gonna go through the STP process as well. Probably gonna shut down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so essentially that's the end of that lab.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of that episode. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode.